just forget to record. I do, but it's ridiculous. All right, everyone, welcome. GladiatEire FC. I have here with me Conor.
Conor Rabett. Conor Rabett.
Rabett?
Rabett.
What's that? That's not Irish, is it?
I think it's French somewhere down the line. Somewhere.
Right on. Conor Rabett. He's with Just Content Media, or Just Content?
Yeah, just Content.
Just Content.
Full name is Just Content Studios if we're going by the government name.
Right on. So they provided the stream tonight.
Yeah.
And all the video services and everything. First of all, awesome. Like you know, just from like a spectator's point of view, like it looks very professional in everything that you guys got. And I even love, like, you guys got that little trailer and everything with your little where you're monitoring everything. It's very cool. Just, you know, tell me about, like, just quickly, you know, what's it like putting on a show like this?
It's incredible. This is one that, you know, last night it even felt like, you know, Christmas Eve to me, to be completely honest. I've been really excited for this show for, you know, a number of months. When I first added to Jared a few months ago, I mean, we were chatting about it and we were saying, you know, we'll really help level it up, basically take it to that next level.
Yes. You
know, something that you would see on TV on a you know, top tier platform.
Yes.
Something like that. We're like, you know, that's our goals. With everything we do, we're always striving to raise the bar. You know, to just, you know, do the best that anyone can offer, and, you know, make the experience for the viewer at home as good as possible. You know, you'll even see yourself. We've got quite a large crew for what we do. We know most places we're rocking up with 9-10 crew in most scenarios, and you know, we're doing new things like wireless cameras, stuff like that. You know, we're all constantly pushing the boundaries in what we can do, basically, and it's something that's been really enjoyable. And as I say, putting on a show like this, I was so excited for this show. So I was, and literally last night felt like Christmas Eve.
Really?
it felt like that Christmas Eve excitement of, I'm actually really so excited to just produce this show.
Okay, you know, it's cool. I love the walkout camera that you have. That's so like that alone just like ups the production value dramatically. So that's awesome that you have stuff like that, and then even like the commentator camera. And then you know, like individual mics for everybody. Like all of that is what am I trying to say?
It just adds to the event.
Absolutely,
it builds, and the thing is, it just makes it a great production, and that's what we aim to do every time. Just make a great production for everyone to enjoy, and for it to look, as I say, as professional as possible. You know, that wouldn't look out of place being on a top tier platform. You know, like the big word of the zone and stuff like that. It wouldn't look out of place on a platform like that.
It wouldn't at all.
And to be honest, I would say it would thrive on something like that. It would, and the thing is, you know, we've worked with multiple events now. We've worked with likes of Clan Wars, Virtus, and stuff, a whole pile of different ones now across Ireland. And, you know, the thing is, we've found working with us now, not to ego us too much, we've found, you know, greater return on people coming to stream and stuff. Because the thing is, they realize, especially in a place now where, you know, people spending money is not an easy thing to convince someone. Now, at least when they know that they're getting something that's good quality, and, you know, it's like they're watching something that would be on a big platform. It makes it a lot more easy for someone to justify the purchase. So, like, that's kind of what we do. So, you know, we're trying to help, you know, make the reason for the purchase make way more sense than just buying a normal stream for it to be, you know, really basic.
Absolutely. So, like, what kind of events do you do outside of, you know, like combat sports?
Yeah, so we do a whole mix of stuff. We've done Gaelic. We do Gaelic football quite a lot. We do football itself. We do a whole pile of different stuff, really. But combat sports recently is something that we've really found a love for, and we've really thrived for. With our first one we did, it was a event called Real Fighting Championship back in Derry in March 2023. Since then, we've been like hooked on the thought of doing these MMA events, like, you know, these combat events. They've been great, and, you know, we have even worked with the events of, like, the likes of doing, like, the Misfits boxing, the influencer one. We've worked with them before in the time and stuff too, and it's been great. And it's been great too, meeting people. Everyone's so interesting. Everyone's so lovely, and everyone just also, like, you know, whether it's the photographers, the cut teams, etc. Everyone just wants to further the whole thing, and that's what feels really nice. You know, we're seeing people now that we've not seen since maybe November and stuff, and we're catching up and we're seeing how everyone is, and, you know, what we've got planned. You know, we're now chatting already. Like earlier on, we were saying, you know, I'll see you next Saturday at Virtus. You know, we've been so excited to see each other. Like it's like that. We haven't seen some people since November, if not before then. And it feels like a family of some sort. But, you know, you're seeing people and you're getting on with them, and you're excited to see them, and you're excited to work with them, and everyone's got the same goal. You know, even if it's in different roles, everyone's got the same goal of furthering the whole kind of the audience appeal behind it all.
No, one of the things that combat sports in this country really needs is someone like you to bring this high level of professionalism when it comes to video content.
Of course.
To make it more available to kind of the general public.
Yeah.
Because like if I think it's easier to what am I trying to say? It's easier to sell it to the public if it looks well produced rather than some guy with a shaky camera and has got a potato for a cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
So I think when you're able to do that, it makes it like easier to sell it to the public. It doesn't. It's not just some backyard, people fighting in fenced in cage or something like that.
Exactly. And another big thing is it makes it a lot easier for big broadcasters like DAZN or all these different broadcasters in the world. DAZN's obviously the one that everyone aspires to be on. And the thing is that they want to see that there's a reason for them to invest, especially in the country too. So kind of helping this is, we kind of see this as maybe further in the case to DAZN of, look, we're doing all these multiple really high production events, that wouldn't look out of place and would thrive on the platform.
Yeah.
This is why it would make sense to have these kind of events, events at home on DAZN, basically. That kind of.
And then it's a huge benefit to the fighters as well.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah. Because a lot of these folks are looking to make a career out of this.
Yeah.
And to get good quality video, audio of their fights, it only serves to help them. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, exactly. And big organizations see these events too, and see these broadcasts, and they catch their eye on them, and they think this is brilliant. And they see the fighters, and the fighters are great, and we try and make them look great. Whether it's even in stuff like replays and stuff, and as you say, the walkout camera, such a big thing.
The replay thing is awesome.
Yeah, the replay thing is a big
task.
There's
any other streamer out there that has done that.
Yeah, I don't think that, especially in Ireland, there's not anyone. I think to the scale and the quality that we produce, I don't think there's anyone kind of at the same level. It's one of them things that's kind of hard to get caught up on sometimes, and especially too, it's a really hard sell. That's the other thing is running this kind of thing. It's a hard sell because it's people trying to it's jumping from one camera to 5 and having a broadcast trailer. But I think a lot of people's realized now, anyone that we've worked with now has always come back to us for every event because I think they've realized it makes sense. It just makes sense for them to do it that way. And it pays itself back.
Totally. I definitely like the pay-per-view.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and we're great friends with the guys at Glister too. That run everything. They're great. Matthew and Jade. They help us with any issues that we ever have. Awesome. Even tonight, when the show was delayed half an hour, they were texting me saying, "Is everything okay?" Making sure it wasn't any issues. So even them and trying to help too. And that's the thing. It's a great kind of cause that everyone goes towards then and helping stuff. And yeah, it furthers every event really. By one event nearly doing it, as I say, it furthers the reasoning to broadcasters to invest in Irish sports and stuff like that.
Yes. And I hope with the works that you continue to do, that more businesses, companies, whatever, we'll see the quality content that gets put out, and we'll want to invest in, grassroots Irish MMA and combat sports.
The thing. There's no one else that can integrate sponsors, for example, the way we can integrate sponsors. Whether it's Micfoam or whether it's we make custom graphics for every single event has its own custom graphics. We have no two events the same. Even when it comes to that, we can integrate a sponsor like no one else can. So that's the benefit as well of working with a kind of a slightly bigger production, is that we can do that. And it makes more sense then for local businesses and stuff too to say, we're going to sponsor a fight. So you saw tonight, I think there's 5 or 6 sponsors for individual fights. Yeah, and that was great. And they would have seen great feedback probably on that in terms of stuff. And then they got mentioned, they got seen, stuff like that. And there's no one else that I don't think anyway that can do it to the quality that we're producing at.
I don't know of anyone.
Yeah, no.
But look, man, I appreciate you taking time to come talk to me. I know they're in there packing everything away. Boss man gets to come hang out and have a chat.
Exactly. After I sat down for like 5 hours anyway, I sat in a chair.
Right on. Like I said, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And look, keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.
I will hope to see you next week in Albertus.
Yeah, you will indeed see us first. Perfect. Right, thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.